Shadows in the dark, they will lead the way to the hidden pathways of the heart. And that secret place, that is where I find my start.
Welcome to the Shadow and the Light podcast with internationally renowned meditation teacher, davidji.
And heart healer and psychotherapist, Elizabeth Winkler, as we guide you through our unique fusion of ancient wisdom and modern psychology.
Get ready to awaken your true essence, heal your wounds, and transform your shadow into
It's here to remove all my fears and to bring new light. The light is the light that will go to the deep to take us to new heights. The shadow and the light.
Hi, davidji.
Oh, hello there, Elizabeth. I've been waiting to have this conversation with you for years, Elizabeth. The law of attraction.
Love this.
So cool. It's so real. Some people roll their eyes, but we know it's real because energy is real. And we know that some people have charisma or are magnetic and other people are sending out different energy. So do you believe that the law of attraction is a real thing?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what brought me to you and so many things in our lives. Everything's frequency. And so we're carrying a frequency. So much contributes to our frequency. The food, the water, the sleep, all those sorts of things. But your energetic family, so to speak, of the people you hang out with the most. Don't you have a teaching on this? Like, what are the 5 people you hang out with? 7. You do 7, right? Yeah. The 7 people you hang out with the most.
The seven places you spend the most time and the 7 behaviors you do most often.
So I feel like those 7 and 7 and 7 can kind of help you look at like my energy resonance, particularly, and do I want to shift that? Do I want to up level in any area of my life? Are there areas that are stagnant? Because what are you attracting? What kind of people are you attracting? What kind of things are coming into your life? It also makes me think, I know this isn't a law, but when you named it, it's like the law of distraction. We talked a lot about distraction, like how we can be so distracted. So when I think of the law of attraction, I think of attention. Where is your attention? And how are you using your attention?
I have never thought until this millisecond that attraction and distraction were opposite sides of the same coin. Yeah. I never realized that.
Right. Well, that's just where my mind went. I was like, well, what about the law of distraction? So if we're feeling distracted, it makes me think of a lake. So you have a very still lake, right? You throw a stone and it just has this beautiful little ripple. You can watch it. Just that's the thing that you've created. But what do we do often when we have that kind of ripple in our lives, in our minds? Sometimes we're like, oh, no, not the ripple. Oh no, I gotta get rid of the ripple. And we like do this with the ripple, which creates more ripples. And then it's all this distracted energy.
She was dog paddling, by the way.
You
couldn't see that, but she was dog paddling into the ripple.
So it's like static in the field is the law of distraction. Mm-hmm. And then the law of attraction is being very present and methodical or deliberate in your direction and your desire, right? So we got to get still. That's the power of meditation. I talk to a lot of people about this. I'm like, I pretty much always ask people, do you meditate? And nobody has to meditate. But if you start to meditate, you are exercising the muscle of your attention. You're making it easier for you to move your awareness maybe out of worry or out of that distraction to something that you want to create or some new way you want to be, okay? So our whole lives are built on attention and intention, which is what law of attraction is all about. Attention and intention, the building blocks of our lives. How are we using them? Or are we distracted all over the place and just like squirrel, is that what you said?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like, if you're feeling distracted, fine, accept it. Now, what do you want to do? What do you want to create? How do you want to be a conscious creator in the world? What are your thoughts?
It's very powerful, and it really brings me to some deeper thoughts on that. When we think of all the breadcrumbs, if we could go back in time, or like stay in the present, but look at a chart of all the steps we took and all the steps that other people took in our life, or all the steps that moved us to a particular moment in time. And I believe that we are the creators of our own experience, right? We know this. We are the creators of our experience. And we attract the things that we think we need in every moment. And if we can go back and look at all the breadcrumbs, even you and I being here right now, that started years ago with you perhaps
40 days of transformation.
Right. So, but go back further, I had to think at some point and create the 40 days of transformation. And then somehow it had to be, where did you hear it?
So I was sitting at my altar listening to it every day. And there was one moment, I don't know if I mentioned this to you. I was listening to you. I mean, if you haven't listened to it, you got to listen to it. It's the best. It's on Insight Timer. And davidji does like a teaching, a really powerful teaching. And then he takes you through a practice. And then there's a takeaway, like it's called a meta moment, but it's like our takeaways here. So I would take all these notes and I was just taking it in. But one day I remember you were saying something. I wish I remember what subject it was, because I like had a conversation. Like I finished your sentence like we do here. I was like, wait, I need to meet this guy. And then because it was like we were on the same wavelength. And so then that's when I found you on Instagram and I reached out to Nancy and you had a teacher training starting. And then.
Right. So we look at all these different breadcrumbs and seeds. And this was you
listening.
This was the law of attraction, which is always based on not doing anything. It's based on receiving. It's based on listening. It's based on being so still that things come to you. You know, it's that Lao Tzu line, do you have the patience to wait until your mud settles and the water is clear? It's the second part of that. Can you remain unmoving till the right action arises by itself? And so here was this conversion, slow-mo, over years. And that's just the thing that brought us together. Think of all the things that brought you to where you now live out of Oklahoma and brought you to have two amazing kids. And suddenly you start to realize there's like giant forces at work here if we're willing to connect.
It makes me also think of, are you driven or are you drawn by something? Like this isn't about, as you said, you're not doing. It's a draw. Like I was drawn in. There's a pull. It's like you're being pulled. This has happened to me on many occasions where powerful teachers like you, or when I went and saw Michael Singer the first time, I felt like a bee going to the wasp's nest, like the mother, like I felt like I was just being drawn there. It didn't feel like a choice. Obviously it's a choice, but like something's calling you. It feels like a calling that is deeper than, it's not your mind. You could call it intuitive. It's really hard to talk about it because it's just a feeling. It's an energy. It's a vibration.
And people always ask that question, is that my ego doing this or is it the deeper calling? And you'll know because it happens in that stillness. It happens from the listening. It's not, oh, I'm sitting here thinking about something and making it up. This is like the deep knowing.
Yes. There's like, oh, there's something here. I don't know what it is. Yeah. But it's like a book that you're like, I want to pick that one back up. You don't know why. Or I want to go to that class. Like, I don't know why. That sounds kind of weird.
Right, but then you have to follow through and actually go to the class.
Right.
Right, because you could have the thought, oh, I'll go to that. Never mind.
Yeah. Don't get distracted by the why. Like sometimes people feel like they need to figure out why. Well, why are you doing that? Just trust that feeling, that draw.
Right. If the universe is inviting you to take a step, you take that step.
And see what's next.
Yeah.
And see what unfolds.
And it was years. Here we sit, but this went through years. So at any point, one of us could have diverted our attention. Who knows what are the breadcrumbs you put out there and that I put out there to bring us together. This is an important thing because we're a very, very impatient species. We're pretty impatient. Where everybody's looking for spontaneous fulfillment of desire right now.
Talk about that.
I want a cappuccino right now, not in 5 minutes. Now I want to hold out my hand and be drinking it. I need it now. I need it now. I need it now. And because so many things have been accelerated, people rolled their eyes and laughed hysterically when Amazon said, we're going to start delivering packages through drones. Yeah. And everyone said, can't happen. No one's going to allow the flying. the FAA won't allow it and towns won't allow. They're already doing that. People said the same thing about self-driving cars. And Waymo's been self-driving in San Francisco for as long as I can even know. So like these things are happening. How do they happen? It happens by, I believe, when you can move something out of your head, and I'm tapping my cranium right here, move it out of there into the tangible reality. How do we do that? Say something, write something, somehow physically move your body in response to that thing. Otherwise, it just stays in here, and it's just a cute thought. So you were saying you were meditating, and then you finished the sentence. Perhaps it was in the finishing of the sentence that was the hook for you.
Oh my gosh, like we were just like in sync.
Right.
I was blown away, and I just was receiving so much wisdom and fascination, and I was so engaged. And then that happened, and I was like, there's something here. I've got to find out more. I got to go beyond the course. So that's what I did. And now we're here.
It's pretty funny because I originally had been invited by someone to record a meditation for the 40 days of meditation. They were like, hey, you're the guy who invented the 21 days. Would you record a meditation for these 40 days that we're doing? And I was like, yeah, absolutely. Maybe I misheard it, or maybe he misspoke it. I don't really know. But I recorded one, and then I sent it to him, and he was like, when can I expect the other 39? And I was like, what? I thought you invited me to do one of the 40 days. He's like, no, to do the 40. And that was a moment where I could have said, it's too much. And I was like, all right, let's see what that looks like. Never done that before. And so leaned into that. So sometimes I think everything is a co-creation. I don't believe we create anything alone. We can't. We stand on so many thousands of people's shoulders. Every single step we take is something that someone else probably had a thought about, and we built on top of that. Even when we come up with a new song, someone's probably already written that already. You know, a new book, someone wrote that book. A new meditation, someone already recorded that.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's union. So when we're talking about the lake, the pond, whatever, it's the stone, it's the water, it's the air, it's the person throwing the thing, it's all the things. And that makes me think of your Yoga Sutras. What is it?
Yoga Chitta Vritti Nirodha.
Okay, you say it better than me. Go ahead, you can tell.
I probably said it more times. So the first sutra is Atta Yoga Anushasanam, which is now the teaching of yoga begins. But it's not just like, oh, by the way, we're ringing the bell. The teaching of yoga begins. Essentially, it's an invitation. It's like, oh, step into the river. You will never step out the same way. You will be transformed. That's what that one line is. Atta Yoga Anushasanam. Now the teachings of, what's yoga? Oneness. Now the teachings of oneness begin. So that's pretty cool. Then the second line in the Yoga Sutras, I just happen to have the mini copy that you gave me.
Yes.
It's so cute. And the second sutra is Yoga Chitta Vritti Nirodha, where Patanjali, who wrote the Yoga Sutras, explains, what is this thing, yoga, you're talking about? Oneness, Yoga Chitta Vritti Nirodha. Oneness is the progressive quieting of the fluctuations of the mind. It's the third sutra. That's the mind blower. Tara drastu svarupe avastanam. Then the seer abides in its true nature, pure, unbounded consciousness. I'm getting chills even from that.
Right. And if we go back to the pond, because I always think of the pond with the second sutra, I can paddle all over the ripple. Like there's a ripple and I'm like, oh. So what we do with our minds. We have a disturbed thought and then we get involved in it, which is like making more ripples, making more static energy, not allowing that just to move away, allowing the fluctuations of the mind.
You can't quiet the fluctuations with more fluctuations.
Yeah, so you just allow it to be as it is. And then stillness, the third sutra, abiding.
Yeah, I love that. I love Patanjali's use of that. Probably thinking of Jeff Bridges, the dude abides. But it was really Patanjali 2,000 years before that who coined that phrase, abiding in our true nature. So powerful. And it's the seer, not the seeker. Then the seer abides in its true nature. So that has always spoken to me of this invitation. And so how do we manifest? All of our manifesting is created through us getting still and then us trusting what we're doing. But we are attracting all of it. We attract our circumstances. We attract the people in our lives. And you may say, no, it's all random. It's all random. I beg to differ. No, it's not all random. We are in active, even the people who are oblivious to it. You're still showing up and walking a certain route to work, or walking or driving a certain way, or going down a corridor in a building that you hadn't gone down before. We make these moves. We have these thoughts, and we are absolutely inviting in to us all the things that we need, right? We're hungry, so we go to this restaurant instead of that restaurant. Who knows why? Who knows what happens? But ultimately, those threads of behavior start weaving their way into some larger tapestry of our existence. And then suddenly it's like, oh, then I met this person at a restaurant, and now it's the love of my life. Oh, I met this person, not the love of my life. And we did have an episode on this, which was people come into your life for a season, a reason, or a lifetime. And it's like, oh, I attracted this person in, and they were going to help me with this project that I just launched or that I just created. And so suddenly we start to realize we are in constant co-creation mode with the circumstances, with the people, with the behaviors, with the activities, all moving towards some kind of vision that we have based on whatever our perspective is on this planet. And everyone's is going to be different. Mm-hmm. And one of the things that really lights me up is that I'm a part of a lot of different kinds of communities. I've created some communities. I'm a part of other communities. When we talk about like-minded people, that could mean anything. It means like, oh yes, we're all meditators. Oh yes, we all love this sports team. Oh yes, we all are on a path of recovery. You start to look at all those communities that we're parts of, going into your favorite Starbucks or going into whatever, love, fear, or habit. I don't know why we go to all those places, but it's part of a longer process. And the concept of breadcrumbs really doesn't do it justice, because breadcrumbs might imply that we're just randomly sprinkling some things around. But we are actually taking steps in the direction of our dreams, our subconscious dreams, as well as our conscious dreams.
Many people that come to see me are feeling like they're struggling in their lives. I mentioned the law of distraction. I don't know if they would say that, but just using that as like a way into this, like people that aren't feeling like they want to attract in a new way. Mm-hmm. Well, what I would ask is, are you open to meditating if you're not meditating, so that you can strengthen that muscle of your attention so that you can more easily move it out of worry or fear or wherever we get distracted, so that we can be more deliberate and more present. Because if you're present, that's where it all is, right? You manifest in the field of awareness. We're in the field. The field is always here. We're all aware, whether we realize it or not. Awareness is everything. And your ability to move your awareness onto something you want to create, something you want to inhabit, embody, right? We are becoming in union, yoga, in union with the present moment, the field of awareness, getting still, as you said, and then focusing. So that's attention, right? And then the intention, the building block of intention. So what is the rock that I want to throw into the field? What is the seed that I want to plant?
And that has to come from a place of stillness. So we talk about meditation as like this powerful tool to help us regulate our nervous systems. But it's deeper than that, because you want to manifest, this is the path. You want to create something, this is the path. You want to vision something you hadn't visioned before, this is the path. Why? Because when we can inhabit that space between, the space between what comes in and what comes out, the space between, as Viktor Frankl said, stimulus and response, the space between what our next word, thought, step, deed was going to be. When we can inhabit that place, just even spending a flicker, a millisecond in there, then the next moment can be anything. You want to create infinity? Close your eyes and meditate. You want to suddenly have the ability to manifest what you never even envisioned was possible? Get still first. Get still first, because in that space, you have infinite possibilities.
And when someone tells you, because I can just hear them in my office, I can't get still, what do you tell them?
Yeah, you're probably right. Next. No. No, I say you haven't been exposed to the right technique. There's 5 ways. There's mindfulness. That's got to be the first and probably the most popular present moment practice. Mindfulness has to be number 1. And so what is that? It's I close my eyes and I witness my breath. Maybe I'm witnessing my chest rising and falling. Maybe my belly filling and releasing. Maybe it's air coming into my nostrils and then going down and then leaving. Or maybe it's just witnessing. I'm breathing in. I'm breathing out. So that's mindfulness. So that's a tool. Now, maybe that didn't speak to you. So then there's mantra. And we have so many mantras, so many different mantras that Elizabeth has created, and they're in English. And both of us love Sanskrit mantras. I'm holding up Elizabeth's I'm fine with it mantra. But we both love Sanskrit mantras. So this could be so hum. Synchronize that with your breath. As you breathe in, silently say so. And as you let that breath go, silently say hum. It just means I am that. It's the mantra of manifestation. So pretty cool, pretty great. But there are literally millions of mantras in so many different languages. Arabic mantras, Hebrew mantras, Sanskrit mantras, Chinese mantras, Japanese mantras. Right? What's your favorite Japanese mantra?
Oh, Nam Myoho Renge Kyo.
Yeah. Look, she's got it like at her fingertips. And it's not like we were sitting there giving a quiz right now.
It's the only Japanese word I know. So.
Right, but it's embedded inside of you.
Yeah,
It's become who you are. Mm-hmm. So maybe you just haven't found the right mantra. Sometimes it's like, oh, I love that. Oh, the Tina Turner mantra? I definitely will use that. So we suddenly start to look at, all these things. So it could be mantra, but maybe you're like, nah, breath doesn't do it. And mantra doesn't do it for me? Okay, how about a body scan? Body scan, you scan your body from your toes to the crown of your head. Some people take a really long time to do it. Some people do it in a shorter time. We often refer to that as yoga nidra, which is the same thing as body scan in a certain way. So that's like a cool technique. Maybe that would appeal to you. A guided visualization. I'll always remember your guided visualization, which wasn't intended to be a guided visualization. But it was like you and I are walking and we get in our canoes and we cross the lake. And then we get out of our canoes because we've crossed the lake. And you put your canoe down and I carry mine on my shoulders and walk the next 10 miles with the canoe on my shoulders, even though there's no lake.
Have you put the canoe down yet?
Every day, just a little bit more.
Great.
Just a little bit more. So, that would be a guided visualization.
Bean by bean.
Right, bean by bean. The bag gets full. That might be a technique that speaks to you, not necessarily the canoe story of Elizabeth, but maybe, you go down in an elevator, open up, there's a field in front of you, you walk through the forest. Sometimes I've gotten really trippy on some of my guided visualizations. And if that doesn't even speak to you, there's embodied practices like metta, breathing in unconditional loving kindness into your heart, feeling it expand and then flowing it back out to other people on the planet. Perhaps your loved ones, perhaps your friends, your acquaintances, perhaps one person with whom you have a grievance, perhaps all the animals on the planet. We can go on with that. But one of those 5 practices is going to speak to you. And so I say, don't give up hope. And if it's like, no, I can't get still. Sometimes His Holiness the Dalai Lama, I'm sure, doesn't instantly drop into bliss mode. It's not about thoughts. We have 60,000 to 80,000 thoughts a day. We're all going to have them. And we're going to have them even when we're sitting and meditating with our eyes closed. And we're going to have them when we're engaged in conversations like this. Thoughts are pouring into my head right now, but they're not distracting me, although they may. I may suddenly change topics and that would be a thought coming in. So thoughts are never bad. Thoughts are signs of alive. No thoughts, flatlining. So we always root for thoughts. Thoughts are great. Thoughts are great to have. Try different modalities and try different message, messenger, and timing. If you're saying the timing is right for you, then explore different messages and different messengers.
Yeah, follow what feels good too. You know, like the teacher, the teaching, the practice that feels good. Like instead of like forcing, okay, well, I got to do this thing because I got to get still. That you're not going to get still.
Right.
Okay? You're really intense about that, and that is the opposite of still. You need to find something that relaxes you, that you enjoy. You know, that you are open and available to.
Yes, and one thing I would recommend to everyone: go back to season 1 for car seat meditation.
Right. Right.
Because that was a great, great teaching that Elizabeth shared with us at that time.
Yeah, so follow what feels good. This is a journey that you're on. The stillness is always with you. It's just beneath all the noise and all the activity within your being and in your heart. Stillness is at the core of us.
Right. So if you really want to attract something into your life, you have to get clear on what it is you want to attract. And it can't be out of fear or desperation. It's got to be out of trust. If you start to plant seeds or to invite intentions or whatever that is, and they're fear-based, even if it's like, I'm afraid of this, so I'm going to go there, or I don't want this kind of person. I'll share this one story. A friend of mine back in the day, Lizzie, she's like dating this guy, and we thought he was pretty cool, and then like 5 weeks in, he reveals he's married. So she dumps him and then dates another guy. And like 3 weeks in, he reveals, oh, by the way, I'm also married. And so she dumps him, as well. And then she dates a third guy and everything's going great, like 2 months in. And then she finds out he's married too. So part of our training as meditators was always that we would write down on a piece of paper what we wanted. Before we sat down to meditate, we would always open up our piece of paper. It got pretty folded and old, but then ultimately we manifested it. So, we wrote down, what it is that we wanted. So she wrote down, after she dumped this third guy, I want an unmarried man. All right? That was it. So really quick. She's a quick manifester. 2 weeks later, boom, she meets Gary. He's incredible. First of all, he's a pilot. Private plane pilot. So they start dating. He flies her up to Santa Barbara for breakfast. He flies her into Mexico to have like a sweet weekend. He's also a botanist, a horticulturist. And so every day he's creating these giant flower arrangements on the table. He also was really an early techie guy, so he helped her set up an online e-commerce cosmetics site. Oh, did I mention he was also a chef? So every night, how do I know this? Because when I first came out to California, I was renting a room in her house. So I was also eating the amazing food. Oh, by the way, he was an amazing lover. At a certain point, I was just like, I want to spend the rest of my life with this guy because he's like the most amazing everything. And so this goes on for quite a while. And I'm just reaping the benefits, because I'm having amazing meals and he's a really sweet guy and he didn't fly me anywhere. But anyway, after about 4 months, she approaches Gary and says, I've never felt like this with anyone else in my life. I want to spend the rest of my life with you. Would you marry me? And he was like, Lizzie, I'm an unmarried man. You're my California girl. I've got one in Miami and one of you in Boston. But I've been spending all my time with you here. But, I'm an unmarried man. So she breaks up with him because, it's like, what? You have other girlfriends in other cities? But, and I was willing to, I'll marry you. He wasn't interested in marrying anyone at that time. But, then Lizzie and I, we sat down to meditate after she kicked him out, dumped him. And we opened up our pieces of paper. And I was like, Lizzie, I think you need to rewrite yours because you didn't want an unmarried man. You were just so fearful and desperate after those first 3 guys turned out to be jerks that you were like, I want the opposite of that. That's fear and desperation. You didn't write down your intention out of love. How in the world could you attract truly what you want? Still attracted the guy, the unmarried man. She wrote it down. But that's not what she wanted. She wanted someone to adore her. She wanted someone that she could have a long-term, beautiful relationship with. We can go on and on with all the things that she wanted, but that's not what she wrote. She was so clear when she first wrote that the first time, I want an unmarried man. For me, that's always been this really, really powerful lesson that sometimes we think we want something because it's the opposite of the negative thing that we had. but really what we want is something even deeper that has nothing to do with those two.
I think it can give you the direction when you're moving to the opposite. But yes, you need to go to how you want to feel, right? You need to go to what is the feeling I want to have? I want to feel love. I want to feel connection. I want to feel joy. I want to share these kinds of different things with my mate or whatever it may be, to really visualize and envision how you want to feel and what that looks like in your life and how that contributes to your world and their world and others.
Yeah. So I believe, and as does Elizabeth, in the law of attraction. It's a belief, and we believe it. And we wouldn't be sitting here right now if we had not created this. And again, I have no idea how far back we can go. What's the thing that first made Elizabeth move or made Elizabeth go to Insight Timer to listen to start meditating? There's so many different pieces in this process. And that's just me. She's pretty multidimensional. I'm like one sliver of what her life is. And so when we start to look at what are we trying to attract, we're all so multidimensional, we need to never approach it with fear or desperation. And that's why if you can create just a little bit of space, whether that's through meditation, whether that's through contemplative prayer, whether that's through, you pick it, whatever it is, but it's not listening to music necessarily and dancing and then journaling. It's really in the quiet between. And those things can inspire you. I'm saying, I love listening to music. I love jumping around and dancing and all that stuff. But if you really want to get the true message, that comes in the space between. That comes in the silence. And so I would encourage everyone, whether you just want to sit in nature and allow these deeper thoughts to come into you. And it's the reason that I start my practice every morning, and I would encourage other people too. I call them sacred questions. And you can come up with, my sacred questions are, who am I when I'm at my best? I've got like 30 of them. What am I truly grateful for? What does my heart truly long for? These are just conversations that spark and begin your conversation with the universe. That's the beauty of them. They're not meant to give you answers. Sometimes the question, who am I, is the deepest question anyone could ever ask. Sometimes there'll be no answers, but sometimes answers will come and just blow your mind. And so I have found that really asking that question, what does my heart truly long for? And we have an episode on longing, so maybe you should check that out as well. But what does my heart truly long for? And just spend time there. I'll spend sometimes up to 5 minutes just asking that question with my hands resting on my heart and allowing the answers to unfold. This concept of radical listening, we don't do enough of it. But we should spend a little more time. If you want to manifest, that's the path. And if you want to attract things into your life, that's the path. Because you'll start to understand who you are and where this tractor beam is coming from. I'm still so rocked, Elizabeth, by your distraction and attraction. Does everyone on the planet knew that those were opposites?
It just popped into my mind, by the way.
Right. Well,
that's what happens when we're together. So,
yeah, just me thinking attraction and distraction. When I'm distracted, I'm not attracting anything that's truly nourishing to me. When I'm distracted, I'm just biding time till my next attracting moment. And so it's beautiful.
I mean, distraction becomes a teacher in that. So now we can, when every time we're distracted, don't let it be a problem. It's like, okay, I need to get into attraction. Refocus, right?
Yeah. So what's today's takeaway? What's today's living the light?
I think that this ultimately is about, why are you here? What is the purpose of this moment? It doesn't have to be the purpose of your life. The purpose of this moment. We all are a thread of the fabric of existence, and we get to weave however we would like. And so getting in touch with that thread of you and finding ways that you are weaving, and what are you weaving, and the web that you have woven is something you want to shift and change. Becoming conscious of that, if there's distraction in that, okay, in this moment, how do I want to shift? That's 7, 7, and 7. Make that list. The 7 people, the 7 places, and the 7
activities or behaviors.
Yeah, look at that. Let that allow you to zoom out so that you can also zoom in to this sacred moment that you have and the thread that you are. And then you get to co-create with whatever you encounter and follow that draw. Follow that draw. Trust that draw. Something's pulling you. You don't know why. Just follow it. You don't need to know why. Let go of that. And trust.
So brilliant. So brilliant. My name is davidji. I'm here with Elizabeth Winkler. She is so brilliant, so wise, so expansive, and always guides us to that healing moment. Thank you, Elizabeth. And you've been listening to The Shadow and the Light podcast. Hopefully you've enjoyed our time together. Make sure you, if you do like us, make sure you like us and share this with people in your life, because we'd love to spread this vibration as wide as possible. One of the people who tractor beamed us into their life is Jamar Rogers. We're such fans of his, and he gets to outro us in every episode. Jamar, take it away.
Of the shadows in the dark, they will lead the way to the hidden pathways of the heart. In that secret place, that is where I find my start. The light, it is here to remove all my fears and to bring new sight. Rock bottom, you hold it as your own moment, but don't rush past this moment. The darkness can become a friend. Love will come by your side, and you'll shine bright.